Good evening, everyone. Andal Star Saber here once again. It's been a little while since we've done one of these videos. Main reason I'm doing this one is we're addressing the new meta, and well, not really new meta, but new relics meta that most of you are probably dealing with right now. There's a lot of ways to deal with it. I mean, you can try to go toe to toe with your own Darth Rev and Malik teams if you like. The only problem there is you are going to be up against every single um, person in your shard and whatever they bring to the table as far as relics and money go. And this one surprisingly has not gone very far. He's only gone about 2 deep in most of his relics. I would expect him to have gone farther. But as I scroll down, I've seen people with quite a bit of upgrades. You can see this one here has relic level 6. And if you haven't been watching some of the other YouTube videos from some of the major players like Arnold and Mobile Gamer, these high relic levels, they really take your characters to another level. So now you have to figure out a way to get through it. And there are several ways to do that. Like I said, you can try to beat their Malik with your Malik, or you can try other options. Now, for instance, the IG-88 General Grievous team is an approach people can use. Me personally, I haven't worked on that team as far as I have my Padme team, but now that I've been able to get my Padme team up to a little bit of relic levels themselves. In fact, I have Jedi Anakin up at 4 levels because I was able to do a lot of Cantina farm or shard farming, and so I've developed him, and it's working pretty well. I've been pleased with the results. The way I modded, as you can see here, I got potency and critical damage. I want my critical damage to be as high as possible. Lots of power, lots of health on there. So you'll see a lot of plus health, a lot of plus offense. The idea here is to make him hit hard, and he also has very high potency. The reason for the potency, Jedi Anakin has the buff block and the health block. Those are very key components in taking down a Darth Revan team. And even then, it's going to be very RNG specific. You're going to be dealing with some frustration in the near future, whatever you use. But Darth Malik is kind of the RNG team anyway. Padme, I went full health, and I chose to go the slower Padme route. She's only at speed of 196. She doesn't have a lot of. She has pretty much my Grievous health set. This is the one I normally put on Grievous, but it gives her a lot of health. So you can see she's got 83,000 health, 63 510 protection. The reason I want these characters so healthy is the way the Padme team works is protection up, and protection up, the quantity of that's based on your max health, not on your max protection. That's just something to be aware of mechanics wise. General Kenobi, also health mod set. Him I've made a little bit faster, so he's got up at 226. Still got decent health and protection, but not quite on the level of Padme. The idea here is he's going to take a lot of the brunt of the damage for you, but you want him to go frequently enough that you can flip the buffs when he debuffs when you get a chance to. Whereas Padme, you make her slower so she goes dead last after all the buffs have landed, and then put up. Now Ahsoka, put her for damage and health. That's the way I did mine. 42% crit damage, so she's got the full 212 from her crit damage set. Or 222 or 225 now it looks like. I think that's partially due to the mastery levels involved. But the idea here is to try to get her very healthy. She's respectable 40k. Good deal of damage and a good deal of crit. And you don't need her to be super fast because the way this team works is she is assisting on all of the other attacks here. 3PO, I put a lot of potency, a full potency set. I might change that around in the future. I'm not really fully sure, but decent amount of health and protection as well. He's got over 50,000 health, and a pretty decent speed too. 216. Now, these things, speed-wise, you'll notice, are nowhere near to the level you will see with your Malik teams. I mean, even my fastest, I believe, is Anakin. If I'm, yeah, he's at 236. Only has 72. I mean, that's way slower than what you'll see in the Malik set. But the reason this works is because you can clean all those buffs off and make protection off with Padme, and then you can kind of go to town if you've done things well. Sometimes RNG will get you. Maybe it'll take out Anakin. I'm going to show you a demo match just to give an idea how this match works. And if it doesn't go great, so be it. I just want to give people an idea of how mechanically this team works. So as you can see here, we're going in with the full lineup I just explained here. So what's going to happen at first here? Darth Revan, the whole team's going to kind of go to town on you. You're going to stack up lots and lots of debuffs. Meanwhile, you still don't want to crit on Malik if you don't have to. You don't want to add any fear to the next one possible. So try to minimize the attacks on him. It's some are inevitable, and what will happen is it'll flip it, and you'll have a little bit of horror to deal with, and that's not the other one. Now we got the ability Cunning Plan. This is where we dispel all the debuffs and start to add protection up to the team. Unfortunately, at this point, you have a couple of horror things that gets cleansed, of course, which is very helpful when you can get it. This one's not going particularly well at this time. A lot of the protection up we normally get got cleansed off pretty quick. So we lost Kenobi there. Not perfect. The one thing that's you'll kind of learn with this team is it's got some power to it, but it's still got a lot of RNG too. And that's hard to avoid. But you can see it still does quite a bit of a damage. So even with GK out of the way, we're not out of the fight yet. We just have to be very specific. And you always want to put prioritization on getting rid of HK early. So you look for translation, try to get as many as possible going in there. Now with all that health block from Anakin, we are able to take out HK much easier than some of the other teams we typically would. So that's just something to be aware of here. Not a lot of reason to do the combined attack here. I won't call that many people, so I'm just going to do a basic. Hopefully survive, cleared some buffs off of Malik. Okay, now that's a little bit better. And we're able to take out Darkside Bastila. Lost ourselves in Ahsoka, but we can still continue this team. This one's got some pretty good... we lucked out. We took out Malik. That should be enough for the win here. So you can still see it didn't go great, but it's still a doable fight. Now, this was, of course, not a Gear 13 Relic plus Malik. So RNG can work your way sometimes. You just want to be careful, be prepared, understand the strategy going in there. A lot of YouTube videos telling you how these teams work. You just have to find a way to make it work for you. And the reason I suggest countermeasures, of course, is it puts you in a position you don't necessarily have to be the best modded out of the bunch, or you can use different mods than the team you're up against. With Malik, it's usually speed. And you'll see people at some ridiculous levels. You'll see them in the... trying to think of who's fast in my chart. I got a lot of fast people. I know Tanaka's pretty fast. He has... He has 329, so he's pretty fast. I know I have a few in there. One of them has a really fast Malik that often goes before most of my team members, even when I had a Revan lineup, which was very speed-oriented. But I decided to go a different route. That's why I went Padme. It may be the wave of the future, too. I know CG is not a big fan of all this speed on mods. They've been trying to steer away from that. I would look for ways to benefit from the recent additions here and just find new strategies, because that can be a lot of fun, finding strategies that work for you. Totally up to you how you play the game and how you get there in arena. But my team was good enough with Padme to get to number 1 spot last night. It took a little bit of patience, a couple of energy refreshes, but it can get there. Now, play your way. Don't let me tell you how you should play it. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit of variety from what you can see, all the Darth Malik lineups, and now that he was released a second time, you will see that pretty much everywhere. You will see it at every step of the way. You'll see it skip a beat every now and then, but you'll see so many of that, and you just have to be prepared, and you have to find a solution to get past it. And with Relics, since you're already working with Gears 13 players, the reason I chose my route is I already had 4 G13 Padme team members. I put a lot of time into it. I like the team. I like the characters. I wanted to make them work well. And you can see it can. Wasn't a picture perfect arena match I just demonstrated, but it was one that gives you an idea of how powerful it can be. Anyway, if you have any questions, please ask in any of our chat mechanisms, and we can answer those questions, or even make another video about it if that's what'll help you. But this is Ando Star Saber. We will see you next time. Signing out.